On What Grounds podcast.
Okay, press stop. Alright, and we are rolling.
And we are flying by the seat of our pants on this one.
We have no plan today at all, but all I can say, I guess, is welcome to the On What Grounds podcast.
Whee!
Woo!
Woo.
So, I saw you looking at your phone,
Yeah.
like saying that you had a little bit of a list. Oh, and Sammy's on my foot.
Yeah.
Hi,
I
Sammy.
didn't really come up with a list per se, because that would mean that I had planned something. I needed to give myself a starting point, and I was just like, I'm scrolling through Google because, the majority of the world, they have their own means and ways of accessing news. You have the people that go to CNN, you have the people that go to Fox, and then you have the people like me that go to Google and just scroll their Google feed to see articles and different pieces of bullshit and stuff. Maybe it's not exactly reliable or anything like that, but anywho. So I'm scrolling through that, and I just come across an article of Hollywood or celebrity couples that have surprisingly been together for quite a long time, or maybe couples that we didn't expect or anything like that. And I happened to come across one. I came across several actually, but the first one that came up was Paul Bettany. You know who he is.
Oh, yeah, he's Vision.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
So, did you know that he's been married to Jennifer Connelly for 20 years?
Really?
Yeah. Surprise!
No, I did not know that.
Neither did I, until this very moment. I just think that that's really cool. No. Who else did I come across? Ed Harris. I love that actor. I've always had a soft spot for him. In fact, the first time that I ever saw him in anything personally, I remember as a kid, was The Abyss. And I'm long overdue to watch that movie, by the way. I don't know if it's been a while for you, if you like that movie, but it's one of those that's it's a nice, long popcorn flick for me. I love it.
Honestly haven't seen that movie since I was a teenager, so it's been a while.
Maybe
definitely.
We should consider kicking back and watching it one of these days.
Yeah.
No, because that was always on some kind of a rotation in my family growing up. We always just, and so it's been quite a while. But Ed Harris has been married to Amy Madigan for the past 40 years.
Who is Amy Madigan again?
Amy Madigan. Hang on, let me just click on Ed's name and click on his spouse. Amy Madigan. In a way, I almost kind of get her confused with Holly Hunter in The Face, but that's Amy Madigan.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So she's the one that, for the sake of our listeners, she was in, I'll always remember in Uncle Buck. Remember in Uncle Buck where I'm not talking that well this morning. Uncle Buck, where there's that scene where they're dancing to that song that I want to sing it to, but I'm not going to, but they're singing, they're dancing along and everything was really cute. And I forget that she was in Field of Dreams. And that was one that's a movie that I haven't watched in a long time either.
But isn't that Holly Hunter in Field of Dreams?
It's listed here as Amy Madigan was in Field of Dreams.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I know who she is now. Was she in Fargo also?
Holly Hunter?
No.
Amy
Madigan?
No, I think you're confusing Amy Madigan now with Frances McDormand. Yeah. Are we seeing similarities between these three women?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Facial similarities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really? Frances McDormand wasn't in Field of Dreams?
I can double check the credits.
Or who am I? All right, now I got to look it up too.
Okay, Field of Dreams. All right. I have listed Amy Madigan, Kevin Costner, James Earl Jones, Ray Liotta. I always forget that Burt Lancaster was in Field of Dreams. But her name does not pop up. So, sorry.
My whole life has been a lie.
There you go. James Earl Jones, for one, he is 92 years old. So let's keep that in mind about James Earl Jones. So, long-time marriages here. All right, so he's been married twice. His first marriage started in the late 60s, and it only lasted 4 years, divorced in 72. And his second wife, they married in 82, and she passed away in 2016.
No, that sucks.
So, yeah, that sucks. But going back to Happy Town, just talking about like other celebrity couples, there was another one that came to mind is, the Iron Bull.
Freddie Prinze
Jr.
Isn't he married to
Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yeah.
Yep, they've been married for. What is it? Tell us how you really feel.
Sammy.
Anything else going? They've been married for like 15 years now, and they met on the set of I Know What You Did Last Summer. I think it is. Were they in that together? I think it was. So yeah. So that was a kind of on my mind this morning, just looking at what celebrity couples have been married the longest and blah blah blah. So that was the start of things. Also, I just really need to air this out there, and obviously you, babe, I know you already know this because this has been something that you and I have been joking about for a while. But the theme to The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You want to know how often I'll have that theme stuck in my head, and then it merges its way into being the Children's March from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Wonder how often that happens. So, listeners, look that up. Look up the Children's March of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Listen to it, and then listen to the Mandalorian theme, and tell me what you think. Because there's definitely similarities, but I mean, it's a great inspiration. No, I don't have a problem with it. I'm not even mad because I love Indiana Jones.
Wasn't I singing the Macarena on top of it yesterday, too?
Yeah, you were ruining it for me. That was pissing me off. I'm like, no, I don't want to think of the Macarena. No.
Yeah.
That's you know what? I didn't even like that song then. I did not like that song then. I don't like it now. I hated the Macarena. A lot of that mainstream, popular, let's come out with a song that's going to inspire some kind of a dance thing. I never have subscribed to that in my whole entire life. That's always pissed me off. I remember back in the religion days, there was this little phase going on with a few of my friends, and I never could get into it because, for one, it would involve liking country music. And, well, that'll be a source of conversation maybe later on. But there was this little, what do they call it? Not square dancing, the line dancing.
Line dancing,
Yep, there was this little, remember the days of Cotton Eye Joe? Where did you come from? Where did you go? Yeah.
Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Anyways, so Cotton Eye Joe and all of these other country songs that would warrant doing any kind of line dancing to. Excuse me.
We got coffee.
Yeah, coffee, and we're full of beans now this morning.
Yes, because
literally
we ate burritos.
Yeah,
they were good.
They were really good. Yeah, that whole phase of line dancing, I absolutely hated that. They would try to incorporate that into any of our parties and get-togethers, and it's I just, not my thing. Not my cup of tea. What other dances are there out there? So you have the Macarena, or as I call it lovingly, the macaroni. The line dancing.
The chicken dance.
How many weddings in your life have you been to where the chicken dance is played?
Enough.
Yeah, too many. That, and how many wedding receptions have you gone to where they play old-time rock and roll?
Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. It's I want to. It's almost like I want to take every wedding reception DJ out there, sit them down, and smack their heads consecutively. Wham, bam, bam. What are you all thinking? Get some fresh material. Nobody wants to fucking hear old time rock and roll just one more time. I have been done with that song forever. I hate that fucking song.
You know what?
So I'm feeling so salty this morning, babe. It's unbelievable.
You know what song I think should take America by storm in weddings for dances is
Cannibal Corpse.
That would be nice too. But Fuck Shit Stack by Reggie Watts. Could you imagine just like an entire room of people like, tuxes, wedding dress, bridesmaid dresses, and they're doing you take some fuck, then some shit, then some fuck, then some shit, you got it. And
maybe they could do some kind of improv line dancing to that.
Maybe. But I mean, it has a dance to it, because remember, they're doing that thing with their hands.
Yeah. Maybe that's something I could get behind. Anything that... Where has he been lately? I feel like he suddenly fell off the radar.
Just living his life on, watching him on Instagram. He's definitely having fun and doing his thing.
Yeah. He's so awesome.
But yeah,
that was a really good time when we went and saw him.
That was a really good show when we saw them. Do you remember where that was?
It was in Boston, and it was at this not little, but it was a small theater that I cannot, for the life of me, remember the name of, and it pisses me off. When I just moved back and forth like that, you know what I just thought of?
What's that?
You going, that won't be necessary.
John Wick 4 is out in theaters. That won't be necessary. I'll do better some other time. But,
that was good enough.
Yeah.
That was good enough, Mikey.
But yeah, Fuck Shit Stack.
Wow.
He didn't do that at the show, but that was definitely a good show.
I think I could have sworn that there was somebody in the audience that yelled it out at one point, though.
Yeah, he did, and he's like, "No, I'm giving that one a rest." and I definitely remember like when he started, and you knew that the song was coming, but he kept on doing like these fake outs, and everybody's like, "Oh, come on, do a song."
Was it that one, or was it something else?
It wasn't that. It was definitely something else, but it was good.
Do they still have Comedy Bang Bang?
They do, but I think they do, but he's not on it anymore.
Damn.
Or he left after a certain number of seasons.
That was a theme that I would get stuck in my head for a while too. I always liked that one too. It's just so silly. Yeah, there's definitely some like what do they call them? Earworms. There's definitely some earworms out there floating around. And thank you, Mandalorian, for being an earworm for me. Thank you, Last of Us, because that's an earworm for me. Thank you, Dragon Age Inquisition, always and forever, for being an earworm. What are your earworms?
Now that you mention it, because this was something I was thinking about, because, I've been doing a lot of work in the basement, turning it into a practice space.
Mm-hmm. Which I saw this morning, and it looks very, very nice.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Two things I have to say. First, the Little Shop of Horrors soundtrack is on Apple Music, and I totally rocked out to the soundtrack the other day. I'm, just gluing the sound foam to cardboard and putting cardboard like Gorilla Tech on it, and just, I'm listening to Steve Martin. It's a pussycat bashed his head, and it's like, this is actually good.
Are you going to start listening to show tunes too?
No, I don't. But like, we grew up with that movie, and
yeah,
same. It's funny, like listening to a soundtrack when certain things were cut from the movie, but they made it onto the soundtrack, because there are tunes that are on the soundtrack that never made it into the movie. And it's funny because that came up the other day when you were trying to look for the Force theme on Apple Music, and we went to the Return of the Jedi soundtrack, and the Judge Judd song is on there, but of course the Judge Judd song has been pulled from the actual movie. Thank you, George Lucas.
It's on my phone now.
So, but it's like listening to it, I was like, holy shit, it's still on the soundtrack. Tell us what to do, Judd, tell us what to do. So, like, there's that. The other thing, I've actually, like, especially working in the basement too, I've actually been on a classic Manson kick. Like Portrait of American Family, Smells Like Children, the Lunchbox soundtrack, and it's
soundtrack.
No, not soundtrack. What
the
single
Lunchbox album?
Single, like the Lunchbox single. It's a good tune. It's got remixes on it, and he does a cover of Gary Newman's "Down in the Park."
I don't know that one.
And it's not really like a big known song. Again, I didn't even know the song until Manson did it, and I heard his version. My knowledge
of Gary Newman is about that big, and that big is one song, and it's the one song that we all know.
Yeah.
So.
But
anyhow, sorry.
But like listening to that, like it always reminds me that I know absolutely shit about what should go on the radio and what shouldn't, or if it's all rigged and stuff. Because it's like, how is that not their big breakthrough? I mean, obviously, Sweet Dreams was their breakthrough cover, but it's like, how was that not their breakthrough cover? Because it's like, I listened to that, it's like, that could have made it on the radio. It's like, how come that didn't? I mean, maybe it's just because it was put on a single.
And after thinking it over, what did you come up with? Why didn't it? Why wasn't it?
Because it's all about, I don't know, to be cynical, it's all just about money and who gives people money and stuff. But anyways, getting back to the song itself, I always like that song because you read the lyrics and it's basically like post-apocalyptic robots killing people out in the streets and people hiding and, you know, and it's like technology is taken over. You know, like the first line of the song was like, down in the park where the mock men meet the machines, let's play kill by numbers. Down in the park with a friend called Five, like the number. It's like, oh, they're robots running around killing everybody. But the other day, I read a thing about that song, and I guess what the song is actually about is Gary Newman is singing about playing with his friends in the park, and they're pretending to be robots all around killing people. And it's like, that's kind of great. And it's like, it works both. Like, it's this really, really dark song about, you know, basically the world coming to an end because of robots and stuff. And then the other end of it, just a bunch of kids getting together, pretending that they're robots and they have guns and they're shooting each other. And, you know, there's the line in the song, like, come to Zum Zum's a place to eat. And they're actually talking about, like, stopping and getting food and taking a break. And it's like, but, like, on the reverse side of it, it's like, oh, go to Zum Zum's a place to eat. Like, I always thought it was just being this fucked up, like, hideaway place that they could hide from getting killed by the robots. And so it's like, but it's a cool tune. If you've never heard Manson's version, I highly recommend that you go to wherever you go. If you go to Spotify, if you go to Apple Music, or if
what's the name of it again? So just, like, pull up, like, their Lunchbox album?
It's their Lunchbox single. And it's Down in the Park.
Down in the Park.
And it's a really cool tune. It's got a theremin in it. And it sounds totally weird and sci-fi-ish and funky, which fits it. And it's got a sample from the movie Prince of Darkness in it. You know, when they like,
Is
they
that
have
the one that has Alice Cooper at the beginning?
Yes, he plays a homeless person, and it's got the scariest footage I think you could ever see in a movie, because like right in the middle, it's like it's their dream, but you're seeing it through like a really grainy handheld camera, and you hear a person saying like, "We are talking to you from the year 1999," and keep in mind this is before 1999, but it's like it's grainy footage, and they're showing the shot of the church, and you just see this like figure coming out with this light behind it, and it's like, the world's about to end. It's like the Antichrist is going to come through the door and it's all over. And it's just, it's
I feel like I need to watch that movie again, because I definitely watched it with you back in the old apartment.
Yeah.
You know, quick little side note.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that whenever I say back in the old apartment, I'm actually referring to the Bare Naked Lady song whenever I say it in that way?
I think I heard that song once.
Yeah. It's a good jam. It really is. And I want to know whatever happened to Bare Naked Ladies. No. But, yeah, whenever I say back in the old apartment, I'm deliberately saying it like that for the sake of the name of their song. Anyways, so yeah, I definitely watched that movie once with you. The one lasting effect that it had on me was the fact that Alice Cooper was in the beginning of it. But beyond that, I forget the whole entire synopsis of the movie. Do not spoil it for me. I think we should watch it again so that it can be fresh material for me again.
It's definitely a classic John Carpenter movie. So it's like,
which John Carpenter is okay in.
So if you want a good movie where it's like, oh, I know him. He was in that other John Carpenter movie. That it's definitely it.
Okay.
Like guy who plays, what's his name? Egg from Big Trouble in Little China's in it. Donald Pleasance is in it, who was in Halloween. I can't remember the other actor's name, but he was also in Big Trouble in Little China.
Which that's also a movie that I think I've definitely seen once with you.
That's a fun movie. It really is.
Maybe it's another one that we should, you know what we should actually do? Is our DVD cabinet that we so lovingly constructed and put together, and you alphabetized it so well, and we did so much. You know what?
Don't forget.
Those just sit there gathering dust, and they're like, we miss you. Why don't you watch us anymore?
Because we live in a tech age, and a lot of those movies are on streaming channels anyways.
But I'm sure that we can definitely look
course.
in that cabinet and
Yeah.
like find stuff that maybe is hard to find on streaming channels, maybe obscure stuff or whatever. But even like Big Trouble in Little China, I don't even know if we own it or not.
I don't think we do.
It's got to be
but-
available somewhere. But just to like sit back and watch it again.
Yeah, and
Excuse me, I'm
talking
very
about
burpy this morning.
But you talking about our DVD cabinet, you talked about us building it and putting it together.
Mm-hmm.
You're also leaving out the part why I worked on the shelves, because there was that one time we were at a neighbor's house, we were talking about movies, and like, hey, I should let my neighbor borrow these movies, and I go and grab the movies, and I had a few beers, not a lot, but a few. And I put my hand on the shelf, and it just completely like ripped like 2 or 3 shelves out of the wall, and all the DVDs just came spilling out. And there I am, I'm just like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And you come in and say, what happened? Like, I'm sorry.
Well, you ruined my beautiful, beautiful work. But then you turned around and you made it.
And
you
I fixed it and reinforced it, because it could have, put in some extra brackets to hold it in, and now it's all A-okay, and I will never put my hand on the shelves again.
Please don't. Actually, that's still something that God, there's so many side projects. There's so many projects in and around this house that I really would love to someday get to. And one project that I would really love to get to is our bookshelf in the living room.
Yes.
And I mean, like, I've definitely made do with like putting that wire bookshelf rack in there that holds all of our books, but ultimately that is not the end game product that I want.
Yeah.
I want to basically do inside that closet what I did for the DVD cabinet, but it needs to be better because books are heavier. So no, I'm either going to end up doing it, or I'm going to hit up a carpenter and have them come in and do it along with that bookshelf that I envisioned for our bedroom.
Yes.
I still can
right.
envision it, and I have figured out exactly in my head how I want it to be. Now, actually, the one thing that I would want to hold off on is, in order to make it work out how I want it to, we got to see about taking out the carpeting first and putting down different flooring, because for that bookshelf that I want in the bedroom, you know how like where I said I want it to be, down below the bookshelf there's the heating system, right? So I don't want to block out the heating system with the bookshelf. It's like I want the bookshelf to come down and like maybe be like about a few inches above the heating system, come out and have like a few like spindle legs, like almost like chair legs, if you will, that would be in the front as the reinforcement. And instead of having solid wood there covering over the heating system, having like, you know, legs there instead as reinforcement would be better and allow the heating system to breathe. I can envision it. It's going to be a real banger. It's going to look awesome when I actually have somebody come along and do it. Because if I try and do it, I'm going to really fuck it up, and it's all going to be crooked and terrible and look like shit. Maybe. Maybe not. I could always make it a labor of love. Because I could end up buying some, like, you know, not like 2x4s. I need some solid wood, and it doesn't need... It's a shelving unit that doesn't need to stick out too far. I want it to stick out just far enough for, like, almost like paperback books. Picture like paperback books. I don't want the shelving unit to stick out too far. I just want it to be something on the wall to be able to hold some books, maybe even like all of the VHS that we have up there, big enough to hold the size of something that's a VHS tape. Hold those, hold knickknacks, have everything all in one spot, and then the VHS bookshelf upstairs, we can get rid of that. Or
Nice.
put it somewhere else, but get rid of it and just like have things a little more condensed in there.
Nice.
Because even despite having a larger bedroom, I think it's starting to fill up in there a little bit too much. We don't need that much shit. I feel like there's too much shit in here.
Nice.
Need to clean out.
And I'm just gonna pause real quick. I'm gonna grab some more coffee.
Okay.
All right, and we are back.
All right. Well, I'm done with that ramble about the whole house thing anyway, so it was long enough for me to forget about it.
Nice.
Coffee. So I hope it's not going to be dangerous for me, but during break time, I came upon this website called Temu, and it's a shopping app. I hope it's not like Wish. Remember Wish? Does everybody remember Wish? I remember Wish.
I never used Wish.
I did. At the beginning, when I first toyed around with Wish, it was like a huge honeymoon phase for that one. I came across so much interesting shit on there for dirt cheap, and it definitely satisfied the shopping urges when you don't have a lot of fundage to play around with. And it was, I mean, it's all junk from overseas. It's all, but it's funny because to this day there are still some items around here, and I even brought like an item or two even to the office, but just like random like organizational kind of things that can be useful. So, Wish definitely had its fun time, but then when the fun time was over, and people were like not getting their stuff. Because the whole point with Wish is that, like, whatever you order, you could pay like $1 for something. The whole point is that you're going to probably have to wait a couple of months for it to arrive over from overseas through customs and all of that shit. So that was like the one catch, was the wait time. So with this Temu app, Temu has consistently been popping up on my Facebook feed, and I've been curious about it for some time because they'll show all of these really interesting things that you can buy for like super cheap. So I don't know. I'm going to toy around with it, and if there's any kind of catch, and before I actually commit to placing an order, we'll see how that goes. These two pups are being so playful right now. And now that I've said something, they've stopped. It's like they know. You know. Oh, no, you still want to play. Okay. The tails are wagging, and they both just want to play around with each other. You can just hear their little footsteps just tip-tapping all over the place. Couple of hams.
Oh, Sammy, hi.
Hams.
Hi, Winnie. Hi. Oh, you're saying hi. Hello. Hi. Yes.
When he stands up and when he just looks all over the place and his eyes get really big, like, oh my God, what's going on? Oh my God, I'm a dog. Okay. But anyways, kind of brain farting for a second because, I was talking about shopping, and now all I want to do is shop. They have all of these different bags and all kinds of different shit that you can spend like 29 cents on or 68 cents on. And then they have like free shipping and all that stuff. And so it's like, okay, what is the catch? I'm going to have to look into what the catch is. And if anybody out there knows anything about Temu, T-E-M-U, that I don't know yet, please can you let me know before I do something stupid. I don't want to do anything stupid now. Because God only knows I am the queen of doing stupid things. So.
You're not the queen of doing stupid things.
Well,
What do you mean?
Well, when it comes to like shopping choices and stuff like that, you're like, babe, why'd you spend your money on that? Like, well, maybe it's something that we could use. If it's organizational, then maybe I can organize all my other stuff into that one thing, and then I've organized my shit. I don't know. Flimsy excuses.
There have definitely been some moments where you bought things or you were interested in buying things that you didn't need, but it was just a good deal.
Yeah.
I remember way back, I think it may have been like the first or second year we were together, may have been before we were married. We were at Salvation Army looking at things, and you saw a knife holder, and you're like, oh, that's a really good deal in the knife holder, and it's like, we have a knife holder.
A knife holder?
Just to put knives in.
Oh, like the block?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like there was like a block there, and you were like, "Oh, that's a really good deal on that. I think I want that." And it's like, "But we already have one. What will we do with it?"
Use it just like the first one that we.
But it's like, but it's like it's a used thing. So and ours is a used thing too. So it's like, why replace a used thing with a used thing?
The one in the kitchen is not a used thing. That came from brand new.
All right, but
That whole entire thing, knives and all, that was actually one of my random free gifts from Mohegan back in the day.
oh yeah,
Yeah, so, which it's funny, to this day, I still have, like, unopened free gifts from Mohegan. I still have hanging around. I still have stuff down in the basement, like the work lights and tools and the socket sets. I've got a brand new full box of glassware. I've got cookware, shit that's still in its boxes. And it's like I have them all stashed away in certain spots, but it's like, how much shit does one person really truly need? No, I'm kind of like in a toss up between should I consider having a yard sale or should I put it up on Marketplace? I mean, what do people do nowadays? No.
people still do yard sales. I mean, I know we passed by a few. I mean, not obviously not yet, but I mean, like last summer around here.
You know what I wonder? I wonder if I had enough stuff. I wonder if there would be a way that I'd just be able to bring it down to the flea market and just have it down over there. No, because that would have a lot of flow, a lot of people coming in. Maybe just, if I could recoup a couple of bucks here and there, or make a couple of bucks, nothing wrong with that. What is up with you two? They're full of beans today too.
Are you full of beans?
Mm-hmm. Ooh. Yeah, Winnie, you get him. Yeah,
If you can hear the clatter, that's them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes it almost seems like she can hold her own in a throwdown.
Yeah.
Like if this was one of those like WWE or WWF.
Now it's WWE.
It is. If this was one of those moments, I could almost imagine her like, fair and fight. Boom. She could easily throw down on him, and he would be down, belly up. Right? Hi, Sammy Sam. Hi. Yeah, we're talking about you. Sammy Sam. Did you kind of like lose your steam? You don't have anything to add?
I'm thinking. I mean, we're winging it today.
Yeah, I know.
I definitely need some more coffee and contemplating my existence and
go get
and
some
all
more
that.
coffee then.
Well, I have more coffee. I just need to drink more coffee. That's all.
What do we have planned for the rest of the day after this babe? Because I already told you I have my schoolwork that I have to finish up. Got more laundry to do. I've got Instacart that I need to order up because I'm thinking also to not only order for tomorrow the tiramisu, but maybe like a secondary dessert. So we have two different things to choose from. So planning ahead for Easter Sunday. Something that I don't even know why I'm celebrating. Considering I don't even believe in it.
It's a chance to get together with family.
And eat a ham dinner. Which I can cut up that pineapple and we can have fresh pineapple on the side with the ham. So it'll be ham, fresh pineapple, au gratin potatoes. I haven't had any luck just yet with ordering asparagus. So, because it was showing as being sold out the other night when I was looking. So either they got in fresh stock or else we're going to have to go with a plan B on a vegetable. So we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
That'll be okay.
I mean, for me, I do want to work more on the basement today. Mm-hmm. I do have some more music stuff that I want to get done today.
And the washing machine is going to be basically running all day long.
Yeah.
Between blankets and sheets, and also once all of this is done, I want to wash up their blankets and also like the other blankets in the living room, the one that I have on tucked into the sofa.
Yeah.
All of that needs to be all cleaned today. Everything is kind of gross and grungy. I think I even want to wash the kitchen floor.
Yeah. I mean,
so
we're kind of winging it today. So I mean, what else is on our minds? What else do we want to
What else is on our minds? I'm just thinking about, like, you know, all of the stuff that needs to be done today in preparation for tomorrow. And, no, preparation for work this coming week. Are you taking Friday off?
I need to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because I won't know for sure until when I go in on Monday.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because hopefully you do. Because if not, we drop off your car. Well, I mean, if we drop off your car Thursday night, because I'm not working on Thursday.
Yeah.
So if we drop off your car Thursday night, you could, in theory, take my car to work on Friday if you needed to, but that doesn't solve the problem of picking up the car.
Yeah.
Unless you pay for it over the phone and they leave the key somewhere so that the car can be picked
There's that too.
up.
I mean, we'll definitely figure it out.
Okay.
I mean, we're not going to know for sure until the week starts.
Okay.
Okay.
See anything good, Sammy Sam? So, anyways, I got to thinking before about how I was mentioning about, like, building that bookshelf up in the bedroom and everything, talking about, like, a whole shitload of other plans, things that we wanted to do around the house. What do you want to get done aside from stuff in the basement? Or rather, what do you want to get finished up in the basement?
So the basement, what it definitely needs right now is it definitely needs more sound foam on the walls. I want to get the practice area insulated. I want to put the foam, the insulation in the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Want to put a rug down there. Want to get everything sealed up with cement. There's one wall that is down there that is an absolute nightmare. Every time you touch it, it crumbles. It's a wall of brick. Because basically you had that theory that the basement used to be like a root cellar, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I just remember how we had that plumber one time mentioning how he believed that this house was originally the barn to the house across the driveway.
Yeah.
So, with that said, no, this house was probably like piecemealed together little by little over time. I mean, it's a 100-year-old house. So it probably started out, I mean, who knows? Maybe even the basement started out as being more shallow. Maybe like a crawl space, and then they made it deeper, for all I know. Either that or a root cellar. I still wonder about, like, the far back where there's that indentation of the door. I wonder if that door was just, like, covered over, like cemented over, and if there's something beyond that door, like a root cellar, or like a little. I don't even know, like, if there's houses over here in the States that have it. There must be, but, like, some old houses will have. In their basement, they'll have one tiny little room, like, say the size of a bathroom, that has its own. It's like a basement room inside of a basement, and that would have been back in the old days where they would keep, say, like their root vegetables that they harvested from gardening and stuff. So I don't know if that was the case with that door indentation in the basement. If that's potentially what I can't imagine that being. Exactly that. It would be kind of asinine and stupid to close off a room. Why close it off? So maybe that was originally the exit to the basement until they created the bulkhead that we have now. It's still kind of weird.
Yeah. And what's weird about the whole thing too is on that wall, the people that owned this place before, they started the cement wall, like the cement blocks. Built it up part of the way and then never finished it. And if it was to get finished, all those pipes that are behind there are going to get buried, and we don't even know how it would fit in the wall. So I mean, that's definitely going to be the last thing that we figure out, and definitely need to get like a building contractor in here to see what's like the safest thing to do, because they may need to take out that entire wall altogether. And of course, part of that is submerged in dirt too.
On the outside of the house?
Yeah.
Do you think that digging that out down to, like, how it's submerged in dirt, do you think that digging it all out and, like, re-walling that foundation, both inside and out, would be a good option?
Well, it all depends on what they say. Like, I honestly have no idea.
Because imagine Imagine if they dug out that dirt on the outside, because you're talking about underneath the deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if they dug that out and that ended up from the ground up to the roof of the deck being enough of a space where you could stand underneath it. And imagine if we eventually walled in the deck and that gave us another storage space.
You could.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Because eventually that deck needs to be redone, babe.
Yeah. But I definitely think what needs to be done before any of that is the retaining wall.
Yes.
Because all that land needs to be flattened out, and there's no point in building if the ground isn't what it needs to be.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to price out what a retaining wall is going to be, and I'm sure it's not going to be cheap.
Yeah.
And eventually, you mentioned the other week how it would be neat if we had a garage, a 2-bay garage. Exactly, Winnie. Exactly
Yes.
what you said. I kind of wonder, aside from the cost, if we have the room on our property for that, and because I mean, you need to get permits for stuff like that to be built. No, are they going to take a look and be like, well, there's no room for you to even have a garage there, so we're not going to grant like permission, blah blah blah, or whatever, to having that built. I just wonder if that would end up happening. With that said, I just wonder if we do get a permit for a garage for both of our cars, just getting like an oversized garage, just like that has one big door that opens up, and then you can fit both cars inside.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Because, I mean, again, it's not that we have to go any further towards the river. It's just going further out where we park. Mm-hmm. And if we're parking there anyways, I mean, we might as well be able to park in a garage and protect the cars, basically.
So tell me something. Do you think that if we do end up ever getting that garage, do you think that having a garage built where there's like some kind of space above the garage, some kind of finished space above it? Did I say that right? A finished space above the garage. Do you think that would be something that would be useful?
Oh, sure. We could probably use it for like storage or something like that.
It's always storage.
Yeah.
Always and forever storage.
Yeah.
Either that, or else that could be my craft area. It would be neat if there was a way that we could figure out how to connect that space above the garage from the house to it. Like if there was an extension off of the future bathroom that went out into that garage, if that was the case, that would be kind of cool. And you know what's sad is that I still try to figure out in my head a way to be able to make the stairs going upstairs, making them better, because they're just so damn steep.
Yeah.
No.
And we definitely, every time we go up and down them, almost die.
Yeah, well, for me, I just literally kind of like go down the stairs like one step at a time, kind of sideways with one hand on the rail. I feel like I'm walking down the stairs like an 85-year-old person, just gingerly one step at a time. And I always have this vision in my head that my foot is just going to like slide out from under me and I'm going to go sliding down. You know, kind of almost like that time where I took a nice little trip down the stairs with a vacuum cleaner and broke the vacuum cleaner when I landed at the bottom. Yeah, that was interesting. No. But also, that's one thing I learned too, is whenever I use the stairs, barefoot. I'm even kind of iffy about wearing socks when I use the stairs. That's why that's why my slippers always stay downstairs. I remove my slippers before going up them. And when I walk up the stairs, there's a lot of the time that I almost feel like I'm a monkey, where I go up the stairs and my hands just kind of like touch the step in front of me going up. It's kind of ridiculous. But going back to house things too, is it still on the table, the whole idea of having some kind of like stonework, facade work put on the outside of the house?
Oh yeah,
even like around the foundation, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, maybe the foundation could be real, you know, depending on what they decide to do, or what would be the best thing.
Yeah, or the cheapest.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to go like cheap, but something that would be affordable, because I think like real stonework might be a little pricey, whereas maybe having some kind of facade that's put up that looks like stone might be a cheaper option. It would be like the vinyl siding of the stonework world.
Yeah.
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 So that's what I was thinking of. But I know currently you're thinking about a new car.
Yeah.
So did you end up getting in touch with that car dealership yesterday?
I did. So the plan is I'm going to call them on Friday and see if we can go meet them on Sunday, a week from tomorrow.
On a Sunday?
Yep.
A car dealership open on a Sunday?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. And honestly, it's all kind of a toss-up because I just put $1,000 into the brakes, and now I'm going to be going in and putting $800 this Friday into suspension stuff. And I think that's not the only thing that it needs to. And like you said, I mean, it's all wear and tear. But I'm driving a 2009 car with 160,000 miles on it from Jewett City to Waterbury for, one way is like an hour and 15 to an hour and 20 every day, to go to work. And it's like when I first started working there, I might have only had like maybe 100,000 miles on the car. So it's like I put a lot on there since I started there.
Yeah, because you've been there now for what, year and a half?
Yep, this coming August it'll be 2 years.
Already?
Yep.
Jeez.
But yeah, like the car, like again, we're doing maintenance on it and like staying on top of things. Like it's been fine, but it's like how much longer can that car really do that trip?
Long trips like that, not so much. But that's where I've told you before how I believe that with doing all of the stuff that you're doing on it right now to keep it maintained and keep it safe on the road, I really do feel that there should be no reason under the sun why we can't keep that car and use it as like a bop around town kind of car. Like say for example, it's a Saturday morning and we want to take the pups to like the dog park or something. Go pick up some breakfast, go to the dog park, and come back. Run to Home Depot, fill up the back with a bunch of bags of mulch and dirt, that kind of shit. It's that car to us could turn into like the utility vehicle that other people have a truck.
Yeah.
We don't have a truck, but at least we would have this because having the back of the car is really useful. And just keeping it close to home, but having it be like our little utility vehicle. I just think that would be a really good idea. So let's see what happens when you go to the car dealership next week, a week from tomorrow.
Yep.
And see, what happens with that. If that's a good option, because I'm still thinking about what was it, an Edge or an Escape when we had gone out to Johnston?
That was an Escape.
And I had not like huge high hopes for that particular dealership, let alone car or anything like that, because I keep on saying how I feel that going Japanese with cars would be a better option. I've always loved my Nissans, and it's like in a perfect world, everybody should drive a Nissan. I just absolutely love them, but yeah, Toyotas and Mitsubishis, I think in your case would be really good when it comes to mileage.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, we just, for shits and giggles, just checking out that Ford Edge, you said? Oh, no, Escape.
Well, that's what we looked at last time.
Yeah.
When we went out, but this time it's a
Mitsubishi Outlander.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, when I mentioned it, when I picked up my car yesterday, they were actually talking about where I had the work done. They're getting a Mitsubishi Outlander there, and they said, "Did you want us to give you a call when it comes in?"
Really?
Yep. So they may end up having one there that I might.
At the mechanic.
Yep.
No kidding.
So they may be having me look at it then, and maybe they'll offer me a good price.
That would be awesome. That would be really super awesome. Yeah. Because I didn't realize that they still had a few cars there for sale. I remember, like my boss's sister, I think they had sold a car through them years back, but I didn't realize that they still, like, sold cars over there, like good used cars and stuff. But that would be a great thing. How did they hear about you being interested? Did you mention?
Well, I was talking to them about it because when they first handed me the bill for all the suspension work, and it's like, maybe now is the time that I need to cut my losses with the car, and basically talking about, like, this is what I've been looking at, because they said, oh, what type of car are you interested in? And I mentioned, like, again, like a Toyota or the Mitsubishi Outlander, and the owner was like, oh, we're actually getting one in tomorrow. If you want, we can give you a call. And
yeah,
so
that's really cool.
And it's like the timing of it all kind of sucks because I just put in all that money for that wall in the basement for the cement. There's that, plus the insulation in the ceiling is going to be getting put in. Plus, again, just had some work done on the car. More work is going to get done on the car, and possibly buying a new car. So it's.
But also maybe like over the summertime, you can see about like taking a little break from doing some, having some stuff done around the house, and sit back and work and recoup a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that would be good. And plus also with having switched over, well, when we officially switch over our phones to the different carrier,
yeah,
I think financially every month you're going to see a huge difference too, where that's concerned. It's like going from paying, what was it, like $138 a month for both of our phones, to $40 a month.
Yeah.
Essentially, $40
Yeah.
a month. I mean, you're saving $100 a month right there. So it's a no-brainer. Which is something that we need to see about switching over this weekend.
Maybe we could even do it after the podcast.
Yeah, we can do that.
That is a good idea, dear.
Yes. Do you want to see about ending things off on an earlier note this week?
I mean, we definitely. Things are busy. I mean, we've got stuff that we're doing. You have schoolwork.
Yeah.
I'm working on the basement. I'm working on music, and you know what? Ultimately, this podcast is something that's fun for us. It's not like an obligation, and we're not like required to do it every week. Obviously, we missed last week, and this one's shorter. But we've done podcasts that are like an hour and a half. We've done some that are 2 hours. So
yeah, there was one that we did that was almost 2 hours long.
Because I don't know about you, because I can definitely say this. I am a little preoccupied on stuff that's on the agenda for today. So, I mean, and I think that maybe that's kind of what sucks about it. Because again, like conversations, should always be free flowing and like the interaction of it too. But if we're sitting here, we're both kind of like, it's like, oh, we got to get this done, we got to get that one. It does kind of take away from like the focus of actually doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say if you feel like this is it for today, we could definitely do that.
Yeah, well, but like you mentioning that I have schoolwork to do, it's like, honestly, it's not even like the schoolwork that's due tomorrow that's on my mind. It's doing the rough draft from last week. I haven't gotten the grade back from it yet. I'm not feeling too good about it right now, so I'm really curious as to how I did and where I need to improve on it before I do the final that's due a week from tomorrow. So that's kind of on my mind because what I have right now to do is I have a couple of discussion post replies and I've got a quiz that's basically going to go over all of the stuff that I've learned thus far. And that's pretty, easy going for me. Aside from that, I'm just thinking about, having a good meal put together for when your parents come over tomorrow, and making sure that everything is clean around here. And honestly, quite selfishly, I just really want to I want to have time to get another round in today. I know, it's terrible, right? Am I a terrible person?
No, you're not. Because honestly, I could get around in today too.
Yeah. So I would love to have the chance to, to play a little bit more later if there's the chance. But no, obligations are calling right now. It's 10 o'clock, and maybe we should just call it quits for the day on this podcast. And sorry we were a little all over the place on this one today. I wanted to try and do something different with this podcast today and kind of have it be without any real structure and just kind of wing it. And by winging it, I think on my end, I don't know about you, babe, but on my end, it's almost like the equivalent of stage fright. It's like you can have a bunch of stuff on your mind beforehand, but if it's not written down, and if there isn't some kind of plan, then no. When they say action, you just kind of freeze up like a deer in the headlights.
Like, I mean,
so
for me, I've never been good on the spot. Even
we
as
would
a
both suck as improv.
Like, even as a musician, like if you're like, hey, hop on the drums and play us something awesome. Like, I've never been good at that. Like,
Free bird.
Like, I've never been like on the spot, hey, just jump in and wow us. Yeah. Like, I need a song. Like, I need a song to learn.
You need some kind of direction.
I need something to practice and be prepared.
You need a starting point.
Like, I've never even been good at like, hey, let's just figure out what songs we're going to play live when we get up there. It's like, you know what, I need to actually practice the songs in the order that they go in before I do that.
Well, you need a set list.
Yep. And
so like, from now on, should we have a set list?
I mean, it might help. I mean, because think of it this way, like some of the last podcasts that we did, I mean, like, again, driving from here to Waterbury is a really long time. That drive gives me a chance to think about, it's like, okay, what am I going to say? It's like, maybe I should bring this up. Maybe this would be something to talk about. So, like, having that time to, like, think about it, definitely can help me. And obviously, like I said, it's a long drive. So, you can think about, like, oh, hey, that whole Murdaugh thing, and that guy that killed his wife, and then, oh, we a lethal weapon, put the gun in your mouth. And it's like, and so it's like, but yeah, I mean, maybe we'll figure out something a little more concrete next week. We'll see. But
maybe we can talk about our jobs next week, babe. What do you think?
We don't have to talk about our jobs. I was just, when it comes to our jobs, I just thought me being punched and kicked at a previous job, having had shit thrown at me, and people peeing in the middle of a classroom, things like that, might have made for an interesting conversation. That's all.
Well, when we cross that bridge and we talk about that, then I can turn around and tell you the stories and relate to you the stories about flying in the airlines, let alone other jobs that I had, but having to deal with an emergency situation while very high up in the air in a jet and experiencing an emergency landing.
Nice.
So, want to call it a deal on that when we do get to talking about our jobs, we can talk about some experiences, some very hairy experiences. In fact, if I get a little intense on talking about that emergency situation and describing it, don't be too surprised if I kind of tear up and get a little emotional when I talk about it, because it was rough.
Yeah.
So anybody that's listening, stay tuned, because that's going to be a future episode, and it's going to be a little bit of a rough one when it comes to certain jobs. On my end, jobs from my past and present, and there's good situations, but there's definitely been some bad ones. And and I know that your past jobs have definitely not been too easy on you either. So, we'll have some stuff to talk about.
Definitely been bitten, been punched in the nose. Almost thought I had my nose broken. Thankfully, it wasn't. Yeah, but I think that'll make for some interesting conversations sometimes. But I also know how you feel about jobs, too. Because you did bring up a good point when you said, and this was obviously this wasn't recorded, but this was just you and me talking in passing, is that maybe people don't want to just hear about work, because again, let's face it, we work during the week all the time, like you said, and if anybody's going to listen to a podcast, like, do we really want to listen about things that remind us of the things that we grind on, basically, and I can respect that too. So
yeah, it's like, I mean, it's like you go on vacation. You go on vacation, you take a vacation, and you go to a destination. Last thing you want to do, like for me, last thing I want to do is go to an awesome vacation destination and go to the dentist.
yeah.
No, and I'm sure the last thing you want to do is be around school children. No offense to children, but it's like you want to take a break from that kind, from seeing or experiencing something that you did or have done for work for years. Yeah. No, I mean, we can't necessarily apply that now to your current. Excuse me, so burpy this morning. Your current occupation, because you are enjoying it, and that's awesome because you made some really cool changes in your life.
Yeah,
No.
That's been very nice, with the exception of the drive.
You worked very hard to get to where you are now, and I think that should also be a source of conversation along the way too. Is your journey, your journey from leaving one occupation and going through school and all of our little experiences while you were in school to where you are today.
Yep, fun times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
And believe it or not, hey, just us talking about this. I think we added some extra minutes.
You know what?
Yeah.
Fuck it. Let's just sit here and talk about it.
Hey. On this podcast, we're going to be talking about podcasts and what we can talk about on other podcasts. So, but
how about more coffee while we're at it?
All right. So, but we winged it. There you go. It's an hour. Ta-da!
Yay!
Hooray.
But before we stop this podcast, let me just throw out there a little bit of info. Please don't forget to like, share, follow us. We are on YouTube. We are wherever, however you are listening to this. YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts. We're on all of that shit. So you have no excuse to check us out and give us a listen and just be amused by our husband and wife bullshit that, that anybody out there can potentially relate to in one way or another. Or if you just find us amusing or inspiring, and hey, if we inspire somebody, that would be really cool. But no, if you just need something different to listen to, we're here for you. And if you have any thoughts or comments, if you have any suggestions along the way, please toss them out to us. We'd love to hear from you.
And if we hit 1,000 likes, maybe, just maybe, we'll talk about our love life. Nope. Sorry, it's not going to be that kind of podcast.
Nope.
We made an agreement before we even started it, but you're not going to hear anything like that on here.
No.
If you have any questions, you can always ask us in person, among friends, and there you go.
Or not. Or you can just mind your own business.
Yeah, you can mind your business.
Yeah, mind your business. That's like what I say to Salmon.
Yeah.
But anyways, I hope everybody has a good day, including you, babe. I hope that we have a really good day today. And let's go get some shit done so that we can go play.
Got stuff to do.
Okay.
All right. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.